Working more has a limit. That's the part no one tells you. Or if they do, it's usually framed in a way that still keeps you trapped inside the same thinking. Just optimize your time, be more productive, manage your schedule better, but none of that changes the core issue. There are only so many hours in a day. So if your income depends on your effort, your growth is automatically capped. No matter how disciplined you are, no matter how motivated you feel, no matter how many productivity systems you stack on top of each other, there's still a ceiling. And ceilings don't disappear just because you push harder against them. And yet, that's exactly how most people try to get rich. They work longer, push harder, stay busier, fill their days until there's no space left. And for a while, it even feels like it's working. They're exhausted but productive, busy but satisfied, moving but not actually going anywhere new. And then, slowly, something becomes obvious. Nothing really changes. Income might increase slightly, opportunities might improve a little, but the overall structure stays the same because effort feels like progress. It gives you immediate feedback. You did something. You completed a task. You moved things forward, at least in the short term, but in reality, it often just keeps you in place. It maintains the system you're already in. It sustains your current level, but rarely breaks you out of it. That's why people can work incredibly hard for years and still feel stuck. Still feel like they're on the edge of something that never quite happens. Here's the shift. The goal isn't to work more, it's to make your work matter more. To increase the impact of what you do, not just the volume of it. Because the people who become wealthy don't rely on effort. At least, not in the way most people think. They rely on leverage. They understand that one unit of effort can produce vastly different outcomes depending on how it's applied. They build positions where their effort produces disproportionately larger outcomes, where one decision influences many outcomes, where their time is multiplied without proportionately increasing effort. That is why it looks like they work less. From the outside, it can seem almost unfair, like they've found a shortcut, like they're somehow doing less but getting more, not because they're lazy. Because they've removed the need to constantly be involved. They've separated their presence from their results. Most people never reach that point, not because it's impossible, but because they never fully step out of the cycle they're used to. They stay stuck in the loop of input and output. Work equals money. No work equals no money. It's simple. It's predictable. And predictability feels safe. You know what to expect. You know what you'll earn. You know what happens if you stop. But it's also slow. Painfully slow if your goal is real wealth. Because linear input creates linear output. And linear growth rarely leads to exponential results. The moment you step outside that model, everything changes. Not instantly, but fundamentally. Instead of asking, how much can I do today? You start asking, what can I set up today that keeps working without me? That question alone shifts your entire approach. Because now you're not just thinking about today, you're thinking about continuity, about persistence, about building something that doesn't reset every morning. That's where wealth begins. Systems, assets, decisions that continue producing after you've moved on. Things that don't require your constant attention to function. Things that can operate, grow, and even improve without your direct input. And once you start thinking that way, effort becomes selective. You stop treating all tasks as equal. You stop filling your time just to feel productive. You don't do everything. You do what scales. You prioritize based on long-term impact, not short-term completion, because not all work is equal. Some tasks consume time. They need to be done, but once they're done, they're done. No lasting effect, no compounding return. Others create momentum, they build on themselves, they continue to generate value long after the initial effort. The difference is massive. One keeps you busy, the other makes you rich. But recognizing that difference requires a shift in how you think about work itself. There's also a psychological barrier most people never cross. and it's deeper than strategy. They associate hard work with virtue, with identity, with self-worth. Working hard feels like being a good person, being responsible, being disciplined, so slowing down feels wrong, even when it's strategic. Delegating feels uncomfortable because it feels like giving up control, or worse, avoiding responsibility. Stepping back feels like losing relevance, like you're no longer earning your results. But in reality, it's the opposite. When you stop tying your value to how hard you work, you start making better decisions. You gain distance, clarity. You stop reacting to everything that demands your attention. You start choosing what actually deserves it. You stop operating inside the system. You start designing the system. And design is where leverage lives. That's where real control is. Not in doing everything, but in deciding what gets done, how it gets done, and whether you need to be involved at all. That's why the people at the top aren't the busiest. They're not overwhelmed with tasks. They're not constantly rushing. They're the most positioned. They've arranged their environment in a way that works for them. They control outcomes without needing to touch every step. They influence results without being directly tied to every action. They make decisions that move systems, not just themselves. And that's what creates speed. Because once effort is no longer the bottleneck, growth accelerates massively. You're no longer limited by your own capacity. You're no longer trading time for progress. You've removed the main constraint most people never question. But there's a cost. There's always a cost. To work less and earn more, you have to think differently. You have to act differently. You have to tolerate uncertainty. You have to let go of control in some areas. You have to trust systems, people, or processes to carry part of the load. And trust is uncomfortable when you're used to doing everything yourself. You have to accept that not everything will be done exactly how you would do it. You have to accept that some mistakes will happen, but those are the trade-offs for scale. And most importantly, you have to stop measuring progress by how tired you feel, because that's one of the biggest illusions. Exhaustion feels like proof, like evidence that you're doing enough, like validation that you're on the right path. But exhaustion is not proof of value. Results are, outcomes are, leverage is. If you're still doing everything yourself, you're not building wealth, you're maintaining activity, you're sustaining motion, but not creating escape velocity. If your income stops the moment you stop working, you don't have freedom, you have dependency. A different kind of dependency, but dependency all the same. So the question isn't, how can I work harder? That question keeps you inside the same loop. It keeps reinforcing the same limitations. It's, what am I doing that still requires me, that should not? What tasks am I holding on to that don't need my direct involvement? What processes could be automated, delegated, or removed entirely? Where am I the bottleneck? Because every dependency slows you down. Every point where something can't move without you, it limits your growth, it anchors you. But every system you build speeds you up. Every layer of leverage you add increases your reach. Every dependency you remove creates space. And eventually, if you do this right, something flips, subtly at first, then completely. You're no longer chasing income. You're no longer starting from zero every day. You've built structures that generate it, that sustain it, that grow it. And from the outside, it looks like you're doing less. It might even look like you've stepped back, like you're less involved, less busy, less active. But in reality, you've just removed everything that didn't matter. You've eliminated the noise, the repetition, the low-impact effort. That's the paradox. The less you work on the wrong things, the richer you become. Not because you stopped working, but because you finally started working on what actually scales.